Ah, it is the alien from the Tenjessu's alliance.
Just look at those weapon pods on his ship.
We hope that during this visit we can make clear to your species the benefits of a mutual assistance pact.
But we're also armed to the teeth, so don't try stealing our atmosphere or anything sneaky like that.
We had a close call last week.
One of those black ships was snooping around the system.
But before it got to our world, some of the green ships warped in, destroyed the black vessel, and then left immediately.
We got lucky.
No, we have nothing new to report.
Nope. Not a thing.
How wonderful! We accept!
Hooray!
How marvelous!
Yeehaw!
Captain, we are delighted that your people have made this choice.
Now we won't get slaughtered.
In exchange for our cooperation helping you with captains and ship designs, all that we ask for is your protection.
So we don't get slaughtered.
We shall begin fulfilling our commitment at once. We will transport officers and our Stinger design to your base immediately.
Why, heck! Maybe I'll even make the trip to your planet. I'd make a good starship captain. Captain, I'm pretty darn mean in a fight, and there ain't nobody better than me with a thrusting stinger tongue attack.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Just ask away.
Nope.
Not a word.
Not much, to tell the truth.
This space exploration stuff is kind of new to us,
Besides the green alien ship
which have only tried to kill us,
and the black alien ship,
which have actually been quite successful at killing us.
the only other starships we have encountered are strange tumbling red probes, which profess to be on a peaceful mission.
But then attack like slavering Zabrankies.
We believe that the probes are actually robotic scouts, which have suffered some kind of malfunction resulting in their aberrant behavior.
And what's worse, they are multiplying.
Yes, that's true. The probes seem to be replicating at a geometric rate.
Hey! That means if there was only one last week, then next month... wait a minute. Let me calculate. That means next month there'll be a whole mess of those things.
By backtracing the probe's course path, we have been able to calculate that the source of the probes is somewhere on a direct line that includes our star and Epsilon Muscae.
Go get 'em, Captain.
Ah, cultural exchange. A good idea.
Yeah, let's tell 'em about Grungy.
Be quiet, you fool. He asked a serious question. He doesn't want to know about Grungy.
How do you know? What makes you so smart? You never even asked him if he wants to know about Grungy. Why, I'll bet right now he's wondering, what is this wonderful sport Grungy? How is it played? What kind of equipment do you need to play Grungy? And I wonder who's ahead in the Grungy championships.
Ah, will you shut up about Grungy? If you say another word about that stupid game, I'm going to lose control and blow a cloud of spores at you.
Yeah, okay. Don't blow your stack. I won't mention Grungy again, I promise.
Well, Captain, as you can probably see, our culture's predominant trait, its greatest strength and weakness, is the diverse interactions between Zoq Fot and Pik.
Grungy!
The Stinger is the peak of our technological prowess.
It's totally awesome.
These vessels are cheap to build and can be quite effective in short-range combat.
They turn on a small round thing that's real small.
Remember, though, against most ships, the Stinger must close distance immediately and give unrelenting tongue attacks until either the enemy or the Stinger are destroyed.
Yeah, the tonguing is the best part.
Our past? Quite a broad topic for this short conversation, but we'll share a key piece of our history with you.
After we killed off the last Zabranki, we faced an interesting question.
Should we proceed and establish a culture which would advance in art, technology, and social sophistication?
Or should we just go back into the forest and kick back and enjoy ourselves, knowing that a Zabranki wasn't going to jump out of the bush and eat us?
Well, we did go back into the forest. We stayed there for about 5,000 years and had a great time.
Then, one stormy day, a Zoq, a Fot, and a Pik were walking up a steep path looking for something good to eat when a bolt of lightning struck nearby. With a huge flash of light, the bolt of energy carved a strangely shaped chunk of granite out of a cliff.
It was a disc with a hole in the middle. As the rock began to roll down the hill toward the three terrified beings, some dry grass got caught in its hole. And since the rock was still hot, the grass caught on fire.
When the rock finally got to the Zoq, the Fot, and the Pik, they simultaneously discovered the wheel, fire, and religion, thus catapulting them on the road of progress.
Which has led us to this day, Captain. Oh, how did the flaming wheel give religion to our culture, you ask?
I will explain. You see, when it got to the threesome, the flaming wheel was going at a pretty good clip, and it ran smack into the Zoq, killing him.
The Fot and the Pik felt so bad. They really liked that Zoq, that they decided the Zoq hadn't really died when the wheel flattened him. He had just gone to a better place.
Presumably one without lethal flaming wheels.
Anything else? Goodbye, Captain.
See ya!
What? A human in a precursor service vehicle? How did you escape the slave shield, human? Or are you a rogue? Although you consider us the enemy, these conclusions are flawed. We are your salvation. We bring you peace. A peace built upon our social framework, imposed upon your planet, a new world order in which your prosperity and security are assured by the Ur-Quan. We will protect you from the hazards of this hostile universe, from dangers so hideous your simple minds cannot imagine their dark scope. Today, we are the enemy. In time, this will change. Soon, you will come to understand the boon of slavery we force upon you, and then you will revere and love us for this gift. Launch fighters. Launch fighters.
Welcome back to our world.
Yeah, welcome back to our world.
I just said that.
So, it doesn't mean I can't say it too. Besides, you always get to talk first. That's not fair.
Sorry, that's just the way it is.
Well, why? That doesn't make sense.
Look, don't ask me. I think it's something technical.
Yeah, right. I'm so sure. What a lame excuse.
Goodbye, Captain.
See ya.
I hope the battle fares well, Captain. By the way, I thought you should know. It would appear your diplomatic efforts have struck gold, Captain. We've been contacted by a race called the Zoq Fot Pik, who wish to fulfill their part of the unification, something you have arranged with them, I gather. They have sent us specifications for the Stinger-class attack vessels, as well as a large number of Zoq Fot Pik commanding officers. You're doing a fine job, Captain. Also, a previously unknown alien race has recently made contact with our base. They call themselves the Melnorme, and they're anxious to initiate trading relations with us. If we are interested, they suggest making a rendezvous at Alpha Centauri. This will really help, Captain. Blow up an Ur-Quan for me, Captain.
I am Trade Master Greenish, in command of the Melnorme starship, inevitably successful in all circumstances. I bid you a formal welcome, Captain. Though we Melnorme have just recently arrived in this region of space, we have long desired to make contact with your species and look forward to an extended, profitable relationship. Even before our first meeting, we knew of you, Captain. Though your struggle to free Earth shall be a long and difficult challenge, fraught with great danger and mystery, we have great confidence in you and your abilities. We gather information from 1,000 secret sources in space and time. Our charge for revealing even one of these sources would be so high that your species would be in debt to us for centuries. Our origins and purposes are, frankly, mysterious, and due to several unavoidable factors, we are unable to discuss ourselves in any great detail. First and foremost among these factors is our unwillingness to give away information about our history, psychology, and mental powers, our unique physiology, the exact locations of homeworlds, or our potentially ominous long-range plans. However, these important and relevant pieces of information are available for a nominal sum of credits. Absolutely. Our primary trade good is information. Why, right here on my display screen, I have something which I am certain would be of incalculable value to you. We can discuss the details of this very significant information later, when we have established normal trading procedures, at which time we shall also discuss the nature of our fees. You are, of course, correct. We long ago abandoned currency, and now only deal with commodities that have intrinsic value, such as valuable information. No, it is not. In fact, in our culture, giving, with no fair exchange of goods or services, is considered vulgar and inappropriate. Please do not mention this subject again. Yes, let us get down to business. Since this is your first time trading with us, let me explain how our system works. We are interested in purchasing certain items, specifically biological data on alien life forms, and the coordinates of certain strange worlds, whose radiant energies defy all scanners, producing a rainbow-like image. In exchange, we have many interesting and valuable commodities, such as fuel, compatible with your starship's hyperdrive thrusters, technological specifications, allowing you to build new devices for your ship, and many important secrets which may help you in your travels. To facilitate trade, we translate all your sales into interstar credits, with which you may make purchases. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Now, what can we do for you today? That's a good question, with a very interesting answer. The fee for this information is 12 million credits. We appreciate your intentions, but you have nothing we wish to buy. You need credits to purchase our trade items. To earn credits, you must sell us the items we desire, which are biological data on alien life forms, and the coordinates of certain strange worlds, whose radiant energies defy all scanners, producing a rainbow-like image. It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
Ah, Captain, I'm glad you're back. A fine job, Captain. Goodbye, Captain.
Whoop-de-dee and Charlie-bazoo! What a good day I am having! First, my nestmate surprises me with extra fat and spicy grubs for early meal. Then I am complimented on my fine display of ceremonial tongues. To top it off, I encounter the human friend, loved by all Pkunk. Can things get any better? Ah, vague omens and mysterious portents, tangled webs of fate, intertwined with the branches of destiny, blown by the capricious winds of happenstance. News, actually there is some news. It just so happens that it has come to our attention that Yoga and Kazon, the two gods of the Ur-Rat, may actually be a hoax. We don't know who this hoax would have been perpetrated by, but it seems someone has used these fictitious gods to send the Ur-Rat down on us. Not at all. You are an open book to me. Ah, how quaint your little life is. So refreshing. Anyway, I see in your future that you will be jumping across the galaxy through dimensional doorways which are at your beck and call. This ability you shall receive from a mysterious and yet somehow I sense lovable alien race called the Arilu Lande, or Lalilu Arile, or Lupilu Happy Day, or something like that. Also, I sense that you will have 14 children and die at an early age. Well, not advice exactly, but I can offer you plenty of moral support. Also, I can tell you about another dream. Yes, perhaps I will tell you about my dream. In this dream, there was a small creature, fragile and weak. Above it loomed a much larger creature, dark and foreboding. The large creature was preparing to take the smaller one into its slavering jaws, when the little one looked up and said, "Hold, why do you do this? What you are doing is wrong." This made the large creature pause, while it pondered the question. Then I woke up, and I'm not sure if the little creature got eaten or not. Come to think of it, it really wasn't much of a dream. I would have much preferred Ocky Birdie's dream. Anyway, just thought I would tell you about that. Goodbye, Captain! When the crystal spheres once more rotate into harmonic union, we shall meet again. Captain, we have been expecting you, of course. In fact, you're here because we wished you to be here. By channeling our psychic energies through a trans-dimensional flux inducer, we were able to affect the low-frequency stream of a soul particle such as yourself and direct its course. The only thing is, we can't remember why we brought you here. Why should we mind? We bear the spidery creatures no ill will. Without darkness, there is no light. Without death, there is no birth. And thanks to the Ur-Rat, there's lots of birth. We have delved most deeply into the dark and greasy heart of the Ur-Rat. And what do you suppose we found there? Well, we found a torpid, vile, malign, odious, spiteful spirit. Right, no surprises there. What did surprise us, though, was what we saw when we regressed into the past lives. It turns out that in their last lives, the Ur-Rat were all shining beings of pure light and blissful love. They had reached the pinnacle of spiritual evolution and could go no further. They were perfection. And then, somehow, they got just a tiny bit better, and wham! They were all of a sudden totally evil. Wouldn't you know it? Get too perfect and you wrap right around to evil. That's why we Pkunk strive to be perfect, but always do little bad and annoying things to keep from ending up like the Ur-Rat. Well, that's easy. It was exactly 27,000 rotations of the seventh planet in the house of Pkunk, before the first alignment of the auspicious constellation of Big Big with the heavenly body of Shamlatul, which was really only a partial alignment. I guess you would say 8 years ago. We have calculated that at our present rate of attrition, we will exist only on the spiritual plane in a matter of a year or so. Of course, the physical realm does hold a certain coarse attraction, a material quaintness, if you will. We will be somewhat disappointed to have to leave it. An interesting question. The answer would be yes. If some benign and loving, yet incredibly destructive and powerful force were to simultaneously rip off all of their legs and drop their putrid egg sacs into steaming pools of molten metal, that would have the desired result of ending the conflict. But I jest. Of course, I bear the Ur-Rat no ill will. How could I, when I'm filled only with love? Yes, you're right. Why dwell on the heinous Ur-Rat when we could speak of flowers, rainbows, fairies, and crystal magic? Did you know, for example, that there is an invisible fairy spirit at this moment sitting on your head and making humorous faces at me? Ah, the mysteries of the universe. Try to understand them, but can you? No, they're mysteries. Not at all. We are, after all, a fascinating species. Of course, modesty prevents me from talking at length, although perhaps if you were to ask me specific questions, propriety might be better served. Yes, it's wait, a vision comes upon me, a shining light, a crack in the egg, a swirling vortex, a tunnel. I see my past lives, your past lives. More shining light. Ah, there it is now the future. It's coming in clearer. Yes, I see tears. Tears of joy. They are coming from our Yehot brothers and sisters who welcome us back to the nest. Wings outstretched, beaks stuffed with grubs. Soon we shall return. Soon. Just off the top of my beak, I suppose I would say that our culture could be defined as the ultimate unification or oneness, if you will, of the extra-dimensional convergent chakra being energies to form a togetherness self, which both is and is not a combination of the now essence. An excellent question. The answer is in itself an answer containing the explanation you seek. And more. Let me say, the revelation includes the mysteries of pyramid power, which is merely a subset of the greater and more general quantity power. UFOs and FOs are significant, but their role should not be overplayed. I'm sorry, but I can be no more specific than that. An intelligent question. But where to begin? Surely you know that we Pkunk were once one and the same species as the Yehot. Yes, it's true. We were once brutal birds of prey, oblivious to the mysteries of crystal magic or the 7 dimensions of psychic beings. It was not until Weeny Winky Bitky Birdie sat on the mystical egg of ice-like temperature and gave the original squawk, ruff, 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 yeah, that our transformation began. It was the squawk, ruff, 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 yeah, that triggered the harmonic oscillations that would lead us to become the enlightened aliens that we are. That depends on how you define friendly. We love our Yehot brethren, whereas they open fire on our vessels on sight. Fortunately, our psychic abilities allow us to sense the deep, abiding love, and yes, even shyness in our Yehot brothers and sisters. How we must have hurt them when we left so long ago. Soon, though, it will be time for the loving reunion, as our destiny is fulfilled, and we are once again reunited as one people. Yes, you are right. I should be careful not to overwhelm you with my psychic intensities. Perhaps we could talk about something less overwhelming, albeit less interesting. Farewell, kind human. Return soon. The stars are in auspicious alignment. The various significant moons are in the correct houses, and ambient psychic energies are in balance. All is well, and the universe is at peace. Well, actually, 2/3 of our civilization has been decimated by the Ur, but besides that, all is well. It is good to see you again. Goodbye, Captain. When the crystal stairs once more rotate into harmonic union, we shall meet again. of you. Ah, but I see you are not surprised, and why should you be? Amazing psychic occurrences are commonplace for us Pkunk. I am filled with love at the sight of you. Perhaps we can converse together or just coexist for a few special moments. Well, we are quite sure now that Ur-Quan and Kohr-Ah are a hoax. Aside from never having seen them on the fourth astral plane where most gods like to hang out, we also recently went back and listened carefully to a recording of one of their broadcasts, which was sent to the IRRAP on Hyperwave Channel 44. We were able to detect some giggling at the end of the message. Someone out there is playing some kind of joke on the IRRAP. Or is it a joke on us? We're not quite sure. But what with all the vaporized planets and total carnage, it may be a while before we can look back and fully appreciate the humor. I can only tell you to contemplate the small goblet stone. The stone is spewed forth from the gullet of a water warbit to land in a moving stream. Does the fish swallow the stone? Perhaps, but that is not the point. Is the stone round? Yes! Does it have little disgusting nodules on it filled with slimy viscous fluid? Only sometimes. What's the point? The point is clear. Make friends with other species. Even the nasty charg beast cannot defeat a pack of ibids without the help of 7 or 8 Rigel dogs. I think you see what I'm getting at. Goodbye, Captain. When the crystal spheres once more rotate into harmonic union, we shall meet again.
How nice to see you again, Captain. Now, what can we do for you today? What would you like to sell, Captain? The 112 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 224 credits. What trade items would you like to buy today? Investment. Ah, yes. You are so right. These technological breakthroughs don't cost you credit. They earn you credit. Of course, there is an initial charge, but each technological system item is guaranteed to be useful for something important somewhere in the galaxy at some point in the future. All technologies cost 150 credits. The technology we are now offering includes plans for building blaster weapons, twice as powerful as your ion bolt guns. Please remember that these weapons consume energy from your combat batteries faster than your familiar ion bolt guns. You may wish to compensate for this by building additional dynamo modules for your flagship. The technology we are now offering includes specifications for constructing modifications to your planet landers, which will double their speed. What else would you like to buy? It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
I am at your disposal, Captain. Wow, you really hit the mother load this time. Blow up an Ur-Quan for me, Captain.
surprise and terror! I am greeted by the smooth and hostile face of our old enemy, the Hootmans. No, the huge clans? No, I remember. I am greeted by the smooth and hostile face of our old enemy, the Hootmans. No, the huge clans? No, I remember. The Hoonams. Two aspects of your last statement defy the course of nature as I know it. First, peace, as you call it, is an illusion. If you have peace, you simply haven't yet seen the thing that's trying to kill you. Second, peaceful missions through the cosmos rarely require weapons large enough to punch holes through a small moon. In case you have not forgotten, we are bonded to the Ur-Quan as slaves. The punishment for the plan you propose can be described as death. This is a sad tale, so do not even try to contain your tears. After the Ur-Quan demolished the Illa, they turned the force of their armada against us Spathi. The term rapidly subjugated would best describe what happened next. When the Ur-Quan arrived at Spathiwa, there was a great ceremony. Part of that ceremony involved blasting portions of our planet's surface into radioactive dust, and this part we did not enjoy. But the worst was yet to come. Our leaders were called into the command chamber of Ur-Quan Lord One's dreadnought, where they were read a long and complicated document explaining the choices given new slaves. When our leaders heard the term forever encased and impenetrable shield, they grew overexcited, I'm afraid, and made a fatal error. The decision was to be transmitted to the Ur-Quan via one of two rods, one colored black, the other white. Our leader handed the white rod to one of the Ur-Quan's servants, signifying fallow slavery. But the servant somehow exchanged rods and handed the Ur-Quan lord a black rod, indicating our desire to become fighting slaves. By the time we learned of the switch, it was too late. The Ur-Quan would not permit a change in status. Following that most tragic day, we were forced to assume the role of an Ur-Quan star Thug. We tried to avoid combat, but the Ur-Quan gave us 3 warnings, each more strident than the last. When we learned that there would be no 4th warning, simply annihilation, we attended to our new role with improved vigor. Oh, and perhaps you have already guessed, the Ur-Quan's servant who made the switch was an Omga. We can best be described as meta-mollusks, possessing the best qualities of both the clam and the dravat, which is not native to your world. We are intelligent and clever, though you would never call us cunning. Each day when we awaken, we call forth the traditional Spathi prayer. Oh God, please don't let me die today! Tomorrow would be so much better! I want to live forever, with no pain whatsoever, owning vast personal property plus a company of nubiles. If this is in your power to give, I beg of you to do so. Sure, consider it done. Allies to the bitter end. Not! Look, can we keep this as a secret between the two of us? It's really rather embarrassing. What is the secret cipher? We are the Faith Ones, the Spathi High Council. You have given us the correct cipher, and so you will not be destroyed immediately. Now, if you please, tell us how you acquired our most secret Spathi cipher, which every Spathi swears never, never to reveal, even when threatened with considerable pain. No doubt. We are too afraid of the Ur-Quan to consider such an alliance. They would most certainly punish us with extreme tortures. Hello? Hello? Awaken from your dreamy state, you them. Now is the time for realism, not wild fancy. Yes, your vessel is unique. And here is the crux of the problem. A unique, meaning singular, starship is not equal to the task of destroying the entire Ur-Quan armada. If you had, say, 10,000 similar starships, we could take your boasts more seriously. Well, that would probably work, but I have a better idea. A test. One of those questy kind of things. Your behavior makes clear the very slight distinction between bravery and suicidal stupidity. 2 reasons. Firstly, we have an unreasoning fear that the evil ones will devour us all painfully. Secondly, in the rare cases where we have overcome our fear and ventured to Spathi's surface, the Spathi who landed were all devoured painfully. You must wipe the evil ones from the face of Spathiwa. What? Can this be a true fact and not a false lie? We will send an exploration team to investigate your claim. If what you have said is true, we shall be forever, substantially in debt to you for a long, though unspecified period of time. Goodbye. Oh, joy! Oh, happiness! We rejoice and make merry in celebration of our imminent return to our home world. You are most heroic and helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you! But now I must return to our festivities. Please feel free to come back any time. Why don't you just wait a while, until after we are resettled on our home world? We can discuss details at that time. 10, 15 years tops. No. We are simply taking a more adult, welcome to the real world view of the situation. We cannot simply say, hurrah! And form an alliance with you this very moment. Surely you see that. No, please. Exactly what kind of relationship were you thinking of? Huh? What? Okay. We are quite familiar with that arrangement. Very well. I'll bet we will regret this decision later on, but you leave me with no choice. We will comply with your needs. A Spathi delegation will depart immediately for the planet Earth. Welcome back to Spathiwa, Captain. We hope the material we provided your starbase engineers was sufficient for your needs. No. Perhaps, Captain, I will explain. We have been investigating the caster which we took away from the Unga after the Judd the Bug scandal 8 years ago. We have uncovered evidence of something strange going on between the Unga and the Ilrat over the past many years. We suspect that the Unga were using the caster to pull off some kind of long-term joke on the Ilrat, but we are unable to glean any more details. Certainly. About what? Like all other races, we have found evidence of the precursors scattered throughout our space. Our belief is that the precursors are not really gone. They simply came to their senses one day and used their superior technology to invent some kind of perfect invisibility shield and remain alive and happy to this day. We hope to rediscover the secret someday and disappear into similar obscurity. One other thing. We haven't been able to translate much of their writing, but we understand one fragment of text. It mentions a sequence of 10 artificial waste disposal sites they built somewhere around here. I suspect that even garbage from the precursors would be of incredible value. Since we tend to stay close to home, preferably in the living room, we know little about other races beyond our neighbors such as the Unga. Before being subjugated by the Ur-Quan, the Unga were a contented and peaceable race who inhabited the region of stars which you call Orionis. They spent their time happily exploring and mining the nearby planetary systems and engaging in elaborate and, to our way of thinking, cruel practical jokes. One particularly nasty prank was the time they broadcast a trick message to space declaring the arrival of the Grand Master Planet Eaters or some such nonsense. This caused several alien cultures to go mad with panic, including, you might be surprised to know, ourselves. Since we never wanted to be in the hierarchy, and we are afraid of all the other members, our knowledge on this subject is a bit limited. But I'll tell you what I know. The hierarchy is the construct of the Ur-Quan. It exists to maintain their supreme authority over all sentient life forms in the galaxy. As far as we know, there are 6 other races active in the hierarchy, including the gelatinous Unga pranksters, the multi-legged, super-violent Ilra, who are fanatical in their worship of Dogar and Kazan, the Tradash, a weak and obnoxious race from the Draconis group of stars, the humanoid clones you call Androsynth, though they have been strangely absent for some years, the vain Vox, commanded by the brilliant and eccentric General Zex, and the mysterious Mycon, who ramble endlessly about people, places, and events from long ago as though they happened just today. If there are other hierarchy races, we are not aware of them. Before the evil ones appeared, we Spathi were a simple folk. We were content with our calm lives, our rude huts, and our coarse-woven turtleneck sweaters. You mean the one we helped demolish? That one? Well, we had some contact with Alliance members before the Ur-Quan showed up. Mostly with the Chen Jasu, who stopped off here occasionally when they were on their way to explore the galactic core. Actually, their last visit was interesting. They were returning from the Tukane star systems, where they said they had found a new alien race called the Zoq Fot Pik, or something like that. The only other race we ever dealt with was the Melnorme, who once tried to colonize Beta Hercules, which we considered within our sphere of influence. When we explained this to the Melnorme, they politely withdrew from the contested star system and never bothered us again. Good. I don't feel much like talking about that anyway. Goodbye, Hunam.
I had itchy pods this morning, Captain, and here you are. Now, what can we do for you today? What would you like to sell, Captain? The 94 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 188 credits. What trade items would you like to buy today? The technology we are now offering includes specifications for constructing modifications to your planet landers, which will double their speed. Ah yes, speed. An excellent choice for the relentless hunter and craven coward as well. These modifications are simple enough to be put in place immediately. Your landers should be properly equipped in no time. The technology we are now offering includes details on how to add point defense laser systems to your flagship. What else would you like to buy? It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
Ah, Captain, I'm glad you're back. I have some information I think you should hear. Captain, a delegation of Spathi has just arrived here under orders from their High Council to form an alliance and assist you against the hierarchy. They have provided fabricator blueprint data for their eluder spacecraft and promise a steady supply of captains for as many ships as we build. Excellent work, Captain. Also, we're receiving a priority distress call from the Zoq Fot homeworld at Alpha Centauri. The signal was urgent but extremely weak. The only portions of the transmission that we can be sure of are help, Black Destroyer, planet under attack, help, worse than Zabranki, whatever that means, and finally, help. If you can keep this up, we'll turn that flagship of yours into a genuine dreadnought killer. Blow up an Ur-Quan for me, Captain. Good to see you again, Captain. Certainly, Captain. What do you need to know? We can modify your precursor ship, build additional combat vessels, and supply you with fuel and crew. Our engineers and precursor specialists agree with the scientists from your world that your starship was designed to be a workhorse vehicle, which can be easily reconfigured for different missions by adding or swapping self-contained equipment packs, which we call modules. The modules we can build right now are thruster units, which make your ship move faster, attitude jets, which allow you to rotate the ship more quickly, crew pods, which provide life support facilities for up to 50 additional crew members, storage bays, which increase your ship's cargo capacity for mineral resources, fuel tanks, which hold an additional 50 units of fuel, dynamos, which feed energy into your combat energy batteries, improving your weapon's rate of fire, and last but not least, ion bolt guns, combat weaponry, the exact function of which depends on its location aboard the ship. When put in the first or front module slot, it fires a single shot forward. When put in the second slot, it fires 2 shots, spread to the left and right of center. When put in the third slot, it fires 2 shots directly, left and right, And when put in the last or rear slot, it fires a single shot straight backwards. This base is designed to service hierarchy ships. Fortunately, your flagship uses the same stabilized antimatter technology as hierarchy vessels and will be able to synthesize what you need. However, due to the size of your ship, we'll have to produce vast quantities of fuel, which will be a substantial drain on our resources. Our shipyard facilities are sophisticated and fully automated, permitting a handful of starbase personnel to do the same job as 500 vac-suited construction workers. However, the only designs that we had in our computers were incomplete hierarchy ship design. Things looked grim until one of the officers came forward with an amazing story. Even though the Ur-Quan destroyed every Earthling cruiser in the fleet nearly 20 years ago, one of my maintenance engineers was a Starship production assistant at the Detroit shipyard. When Earth was conquered, she was ordered to destroy all ship construction databases. But she secretly made copies of the blueprint disc and then kept them with her ever since. These discs contain all the data we need to build as many Earthling cruisers as you want, provided you, Captain, can supply the large amounts of mineral resources required to build those vessels. In theory, Captain, we could build alien starships here if we had designs for them. However, it's a well-known fact that alien vessels just can't be flown in combat without native starship captains at the helm. We have almost 2,000 highly motivated, skilled professionals aboard this starbase, and every single one of them wants a berth aboard your starship. However, each hand we lose to your ship means less manpower here at the starbase, and this is reflected in the crew RU cost. As long as you don't lose too many crew members to combat or planet exploration, the RU cost will remain static. But we have only so many warm bodies on this starbase, and if your needs for crew grow beyond a certain point, the cost could increase dramatically. As you know, Captain, we've committed the entire output of this station to building your flagship and your battle fleet into the strongest force possible. However, our resources are very limited, and we feel you must decide how we are to spend our effort and material. To aid you in making these decisions, we have implemented a resource allocation scheme. We provide you with a numerical assessment of the station's resources and ascribe a cost to each task we can perform and each device we can build. It's up to you to decide how you're going to spend your resource units, or RU as we call them. To acquire more RU, you must bring resources back to the starbase. These resources can be either in the form of mineral ores gathered from planet surfaces or already refined metals and other valuable materials from the wreckage of enemy starships. The most straightforward way you can accumulate resource units is to bring mineral ores back to this starbase. There are probably enough resources in just the nearby dozen stars to build your ship into a powerful battleship or to create a strong task force of combat vessels. I would also recommend that you build several additional storage bays. When gathering minerals, focus on cleaning out one star system at a time. This way you minimize the cost of travel through hyperspace. While I respect your search for abstract knowledge, frankly, Captain, in our present circumstances, I see little use for such data here. Perhaps you can make use of biological information elsewhere. What else can I tell you? What else can I tell you? What aspect of history, Captain? We have some data on this subject. What do you want to know about? Hell, you probably know more about them than I do, but here goes. About 200,000 years ago, when our great to the nth grandparents were just starting to play with stone knives and bearskins, a star-faring species suddenly appeared on the galactic scene and spread like wildfire. We found evidence of their presence just about everywhere, from an orbital platform on Alpha Centauri to a stack of data plates in a cave on Pluto to some nameless widget found in a voodoo shop in New Orleans. We never found a precursor body or even a picture of one. We can conjecture what they look like by examining the scale and layout of their equipment. Such an analysis indicates they were giants, say 5 to 8 meters tall and twice as wide. I don't know if they looked more like a brontosaur or an elephant. Anyway, about 3,000 years after the precursors made their dramatic appearance, they vanished. Poof! As far as we can tell, it took less than a decade to happen. You mean besides the precursors? Well, the only information we have is secondhand based on some research by a Chenzetsu historian that I read at the Academy. Zensert, the historian, found some evidence that there was a group of alien races who formed an interstellar empire not too far from here about 22,000 years ago. The only species in this empire actually lived in our region of space was a race of rock-like creatures who lived in the Vulpeculae constellation. The presence of the hostile androsynth in that part of space severely limited Zensert research. He never even found out the race's name. Yes, there is. Aside from the precursor relics we have found on Earth, often in museums mislabeled as modern art, we've discovered disturbing evidence of much more recent visitation. Perhaps you're already aware that during the mid to late 20th century, there were unaccountable UFO sightings as well as dozens of reported encounters with alien life forms. Although we can discount many of the reports as wishful fabrication or traumatic translation, the military authorities of the time kept a secret record of the incidents which were legitimate. In each such case, the aliens are almost identical in appearance. They have white skin and minimal facial features except for huge almond-shaped eyes, which are often described as glowing or luminescent. This description fits almost perfectly the Arielu Lalile. In most of the legitimate encounters, the people involved describe being physically examined or modified by the aliens. In some cases, unusual pregnancies occurred, and in almost every instance, there were repeat visitations as though the Arielu Lalile were doing checkups on their subject. We never got the chance to confront the Arielu Lalile about what they did to us and why. I wonder if we ever will. Would you like information on any other aspect of history? Which group of aliens? None that we had made formal contact with. The Chenzetsu implied that they had met two other star-faring species, one near the Gicklus constellation and the other directly Corward from Procyon. The Arielu Lalile once mentioned having some fun with an alien race in Draconis, but like so much else with the Arielu, they never revealed the whole story. I'm sure there are hundreds more alien races in our galaxy, but beyond what I've told you, your guess is as good as mine. Okay, which race? The Shofixti are a race of intelligent marsupials who had been civilized for only a few decades when the war began. They were discovered in the Delta Gorno star system by the Yehat, who adopted and then uplifted the Shofixti, giving them advanced technology and cultural definition. Shofixti are noble and fearless warriors, Captain. In addition, their incredible fecundity and rapid maturation rate kept Alliance rank solid even at the worst part of the war. You know, I once flew as an observer aboard one of their ships on routine patrol. We never saw the enemy, but I could never stop thinking about the glory device it had strapped to the bottom of its hull. The Yehat are a race of ancient warrior clans that have been traveling the stars for many centuries. Clans are highly competitive and sometimes even wage war on each other, but the clans are all loyal to the Queen and her royal family, known as the Veepzeeps. The Veepzeeps have been in power for over 2,000 years, and it is said that during their rule, the Yehat never lost a battle. I'd like to think I'm not a bigoted person, Captain, especially when it comes to allies, but there's just something about those Arilu that gives me the creeps. One thing I'll say for them, though, they possess some technique for moving really fast through hyperspace. They never let us know what it was, but sure beats the pants off our faster shit. The Genjutsu were leaders of the Alliance, even though they refused to accept formally the title. I don't know if their silicon-based biology is just plain superior to our old carbon models, or if their fantastic intellect were the product of an ancient, peaceful culture. Whatever the reason, I'd rather be taking orders from a Genjutsu than any other life form, absolutely. One of the more amazing things about them was they never used hyperwave communicators. They could send messages naturally, and their natural hyperwave receptors were much more sensitive than even our best units. We didn't really get much of a chance to learn about those mechanical beings, but I'll tell you what I know. They're the product of a distant, unknown culture who sent a giant factory ark into our region of space many centuries ago. The Mother Ark, that's what the Earth Press called it, turned out millions of robots and finally broke down. I don't know why the Melnorme didn't repair the Mother Ark. Maybe they can't. My personal guess as to why they were sent here is that they're on the leading edge of a colonization project. And once the Melnorme have tamed enough new worlds, the genuine colonists, whoever they are, will arrive and claim their due. Most raw recruits saw the Siren as nothing more than warm breathing pinups. Warm they are, and yes, they do breathe most magnificently, but Captain, they are far more than simple joy units. The history shows the Siren established and maintained a peaceful culture from their Bronze Age through their discovery of starflight. Before their planet was destroyed in a horrible cataclysm, their world was an Eden. What other group of aliens are you interested in? Which species? The Mycons are hard to get a handle on. In fact, I'm not sure any human has ever had a real conversation with a Mycon. What we know of them, we've learned from their corpses, which, I may add, have a nasty habit of coming back to life when thawed out from a decompression quick freeze. Mycon ships seem to expend a significant amount of energy on life support. This is probably because the Mycon only thrive in temperatures close to the melting point of lead. As far as we know, the Mycon are the only race to actively seek out the Ur-Quan in order to become combat slaves. Imagine facing a cowardly, mobile clam armed with a howitzer, and you've got a good idea of what it's like dealing with the Spathi. Although they tend to avoid battles as much as their masters will allow, once in battle, a Spathi eluder is one tough cookie. I once heard a rumor, though I don't like to believe in it myself, that a rogue band of courageous Spathi broke away from the main Starfleet, painted their ships black with bright red stripes, and formed the Black Spathi Squadron, dedicated to performing brave and hostile deeds. Like I said, I'd have to see it to believe it. It's unfortunate that the Umga fell to the Ur-Quan so early in the war, because I suspect we would have gotten along well with those big blob creatures. At the very least, it would have been entertaining. We know them a bit better than most races because they were eager to talk with our ships before, after, and during battle. The Arilu intimated that they had a relationship with the Umga before the Ur-Quan arrived, but I don't know any details. When I was flying combat missions along the Kohr-Ah front, there was nothing we feared more than the Androsith hit-and-run squadron. Their blazer ships were more than a match for our cruisers, so we stayed clear of Eta Vulpeculae, their home star. In addition, I think each of us aboard the ship knew deep down in our hearts that the Androsith had a damn good reason for hating us. Our grandparents had kept them as slaves for nearly 50 years. Still have nightmares about those spiders taking me prisoner, using me as one of their 6 sacrifices to Dogar and Kazon, their twin gods of destruction and torment. Those guys were almost as scary as the Androsiths to those of us in Deep Space Patrol. Their Avenger ships could appear out of nowhere and melt a cruiser down to slag in seconds. Luckily for us, the bulk of the Ilrath fleet was thrown against the Chenjesu and the Melnorme. The Starship Far Voyager under the command of Captain Jeffrey L. Rand encountered the Vucks near Beta Mira. Although the details are hazy, it's generally accepted that Rand offended the Vuck Starship commander with an inadvertent insult. What other group of aliens are you interested in? Would you like information on any other aspect of history? What about the war? Earth got involved late in the game in 2112 when the Chenjesu arrived in our solar system for the first time. So let's back up a few years to 2098 when the Chenjesu super-sensitive receivers detected a strange signal from the Ophiuchi constellation. Though even the Chenjesu didn't know it, it was the first sign of the Ur-Quan's arrival. The Ur-Quan, having detected the presence of many sentient species, were beaming out an exulting hunting cry. The first direct evidence of the Ur-Quan's intent was the sudden conquest of the Umga, a solitary though not unfriendly species in the Orionis constellation. The Chenjesu, distraught by the invasion, were further angered when the Ur-Quan turned their fleets on the hostile but weak Ilrath race. A hastily assembled defense force of Melnorme and Chenjesu vessels turned the Ur-Quan fleet aside, but the invader moved into Spathi space, rapidly subjugating that race. With each new conquest, the Ur-Quan fleet grew larger as it added slave vessels to its ranks. Earth joined the Chenjesu to form the Alliance of Free Stars at about the same time as the Androsynth stars fell to the Ur-Quan armada. Before the ink was dry on our agreement with the Chenjesu in 2116, a new race appeared in orbit around the moon and asked for admittance to the Alliance. It was the Arilu Lalile. The timing seemed unusual, and the Arilu were definitely weird, looking like saucer men from Mars, but we were too busy cranking up our mothballed heavy industry that we really didn't pay it much attention at the time. At the start of the war, here on Earth, we were working like crazy, churning out hundreds of heavy cruisers and smaller support vehicles. The Ur-Quan were busy too. Unbeknownst to us, they had moved down towards the Luton Star Group and were attacking the Vucks, who only the Yehat knew existed. Our botched first contact with the Vucks took place in 2119, and it was the biggest single mistake we made during the war. After defeating the Vucks, the Ur-Quan fleets ran smack into the combined might of the Yehat and Shofixti, supported by the first wave of our cruisers. Again, the Ur-Quan turned away from the hard spot to attack the weak, though we just thought they were running away. In fact, the Ur-Quan had found another independent alien race, the Mycon, in the Brahi constellation. The Mycon's voluntary submission to the Ur-Quan brought the return of the Ur-Quan fleets, now swollen with 100 devastating Mycon pod ships. The last entrants to the conflict were the Cyrene, a race of space gypsies who had escaped the hierarchy by moving their vast fleet of slow-moving habitats into human space. With the side set, the last Ur-Quan offensive began. The Ur-Quan came roaring through Vuk space and tried to push past the India and Mira star systems. Their onslaught was barely repulsed, and our counterattack made hardly a dent in the hierarchy forces, but we held the line. The Kohr-ward front remained intact. Over the following 10 years, there were many great battles between the combined Alliance Starfleet and the Ur-Quan and their hierarchy of battle thralls. Then in 2134, a dramatic shift in the balance of power took place. This must have been about the time the science research mission was sent to the planet of Vela. Our fleets were pushed back from the Indy-Mira line beyond Raynet. Holding Rigel caused grievously in Chenjesu forces, and the Ur-Quan, recognizing this weakness, shifted to focus the brunt of their forces on Procyon. That was the last we heard from the Chenjesu and the Melnorme. A few weeks later, waves of ships hit us from all directions. When Ceres Station, our outpost on the asteroid belt, fell to the hierarchy, we knew we were beaten, but we fought on anyway. 3 days later, the Ur-Quan vaporized our last remaining laser forts on the moon, and the dreadnoughts took up geosynchronous position above Rome, Moscow, Beijing, Tokyo, London, Buenos Aires, and Washington. We'd lost the war, and we knew it. But the Ur-Quan decided to make it real clear. And that's why if you check any of our most recent maps, you won't find Buenos Aires. After the UN submitted their formal surrender, we were given a week to decide the nature of our servitude. The Ur-Quan demanded that the decision be made through popular vote. When all the votes were tallied, Earth had chosen not to fight for the Ur-Quan. We had become a fallow slave world. We were given a month to withdraw all of our people and equipment to Earth. Anyone or anything left off-planet would be destroyed after the shield went up. Then the Ur-Quan broadcast an odd message. All objects of human construction more than 500 years old were to be abandoned. We didn't know what the Ur-Quan meant until they moved their dreadnoughts into new orbital positions and opened fire on the surface with their fusion weapons. In seconds, large sections of London, Paris, and other European cities were incinerated. At first, we thought they were going to annihilate us after all. And we noticed they were also striking such targets as the Giza Pyramids, the Parthenon in Athens, and Stonehenge. Curiously, the United States was almost untouched. The flaming rain lasted 40 hellish hours. It took days after we crawled from our smoldering shelters to realize what the Ur-Quan had done. Our new masters had targeted every building, monument, or other man-made construction older than 500 years and destroyed it. In those 2 days, we lost most of the history of mankind. In some cases, the Ur-Quan destroyed places we did not even suspect were significant. From their positions in orbit, the dreadnoughts blew away a kilometer of land in central Iraq, vaporized several targets in the Amazon rainforest, punched a big hole through the Antarctic ice cap to destroy something deep under the surface, and melted a broad swath of the ocean floor in the southeastern Atlantic. Then, just a couple of days later, the shield went up, and our contact with the outside world stopped. The next time I saw the stars was 8 years ago, when I was transferred up here to be the new commander of this starbase. Would you like any information on any other aspect of history? Sure. Anything else? Can you be more specific? If you have the patience, I would recommend you spend several months or even a year gathering mineral resources. You can find such minerals on almost any planet surface, but the quality and density will vary depending upon the type of planet you're on. Base metals are probably the most common materials you'll find, but they aren't particularly valuable. You can find rarer precious and radioactive elements on metal-rich worlds such as Mercury. An old miner once told me that you could tell the relative quality of a planet's minerals based on the planet's color as seen from space. To remember the color sequence from good to bad, the miner had a mnemonic that went something like, "Very young orangutan could grow bananas perhaps rather well." It is also the case that mineral yields will be better at hotter stars. Temperature is related to the size and color of the star. Red stars are the coolest, then orange, yellow, green, blue, and the hottest stars are white. A red, very young, or it is also the case of mineral red. That all depends on whom you meet, doesn't it, Captain? Well, in all seriousness, if you encounter the Illrath, Bucks, Androsynth, or other hierarchy battle thralls, I wouldn't hold out much hope for a peaceful encounter. So if you feel you have the advantage, attack. The resources you will scavenge from the enemy's wreckage are well worth the effort. If you can find alliance races who are in a position to help us, then you must convince them to join with us. Their assistance may be crucial to our success. Let's see. You need to build up and balance the strength of your flagship. I would add enough weapons to defend yourself if you're caught without escort ships. I guess I'd gather more minerals to build up a good supply of resource units. Captain, I wish I had an easy answer, but I don't. The only way I can see of liberating Earth as well as the Alliance allies is to destroy the Ur-Quan and their armada of battle thralls entirely. To defeat our enemies, we will need awesome strength, both in your flagship and the fleet, as well as the assistance of powerful new allies. Though combat will be unavoidable and sometimes necessary to achieve our goals, I'm certain your wits will be at least as important as your weapons. You'll need to explore this region of space, gathering resources and information wherever you go. I don't know, Captain, but I suspect their battle thralls know more than we do, so I suggest you try to gather information from them, perhaps by force. At first, your ship will be far too vulnerable to permit frontal assaults on the Ur-Quan. Even when your ship is at full power, we're faced with the reality that the hierarchy has thousands of ships. You cannot win the fight alone, Captain. You need allies. Also, towards the end of the war, when the hierarchy broke through the Kohr-Ward front, we heard rumors that the Ur-Quan had unleashed some kind of super weapon which was unstoppable by normal means. You need to find out if that rumor was true, Captain, because if the Ur-Quan do have such a weapon, we'll have to find some way to stop it, or all our efforts are for naught. If you encounter an unknown alien race, proceed carefully and diplomatically. We need all the friends we can get, and we certainly can't afford any more enemies. Remember, Captain, with your precursor starship, you hold awesome power. But there will be situations when dealing with an alien race where a carrot will serve better than a stick. But first, you must determine what carrot the alien wants. You need to accumulate enough resources so we can build up your flagship and assemble a strong fleet. I'd also recommend that you acquire blueprints for other more powerful ships than our trusty cruiser. I suspect that aliens will not give you such prints unless you form an alliance with them. What else can we discuss? What else can I tell you? Fine. Is there anything else you need? We shall await your return, Captain.
We come in peace. Mission description follows. Traverse space recording data. Seek materials for replication. Replicate to expand scope of mission. Contact life forms in peaceful manner. After 10 replications, return to point of origin. End of mission description. Priority override. New behavior dictated. Must break target into component materials.
We are the Ur-Quan and Kohr-Ah. We cleanse our destiny. You will soon die. Make whatever rituals are necessary for your species. Over 5,000 races have made such a claim. We survived. They did not. Nor shall you.
Our savior, you have rescued us from certain destruction.
Howie baby, that was a close one.
The black ship appeared in orbit several days ago and began raining down bolts of destructive energy on the surface of our planet.
Fortunately,
We were able to focus our planetary shield to deflect the energy blasts away from our cities.
unfortunately,
Large sections of our planet's beautiful wilderness have been annihilated, entire ecosystems destroyed.
oh, that makes me really mad. I mean, attacking helpless, intelligent alien species, that's one thing. But toasting our cute little wood jukes and tree knobs, that is really low.
If the black ship had been accompanied by others of its kind, we wouldn't have been able to stop the rain of destruction. They would have killed us all.
Well, in that case, better those jukes and narcs than us, right?
Captain, it is clear that in matters of war, you are more capable than ourselves. With this in mind, we would like to give you our 4 finest starships and crew. I hope they bring you many victories.
Try not to lose them all right away.
It's been pretty quiet, Captain. Nothing new to report.
Are you crazy? What about the Fungi Championships?
Why should we tell the Earth Captain about that? He wouldn't be interested.
Oh, yeah? How do you know?
Because I'm not even interested. Nobody with any brains is interested in Fungi.
Well, what about me, huh? I love Fungi. It's a sport of kings.
Gee.
Oh, all right. We wouldn't know any of the teams anyway.
No, we have nothing new to report.
Nope. Not a thing.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Just ask away.
Anything else? Goodbye, Captain.
See ya.
I hope the battle fares well, Captain. By the way, I thought you should know. We've detected a minute but measurable disturbance in the inner space fabric at approximate true space coordinate 100 by 50. Our scientists speculate that this disturbance may be caused by many thousands of hyperwarp penetrations, all in phase, as though a huge fleet of ships were on the move. Also, in the log of your voyage from Unserwald, I read that you encountered a tumbling red probe that attacked the Tober moon, killing Captain Burton. Over the past few months, we have monitored an increasing number of these probes entering the system, and I'm afraid their population seems to be growing geometrically. If this continues, in a year, space will be crawling with these things. I recommend you treat this as a serious problem now, before it becomes a disaster. Discover who is producing these probes and stop them from creating any more. Goodbye, Captain.
We bring greetings from a friendly species. Behavior follows dictated priorities: replication, data gathering, contacting alien life forms in peaceful manner, priority override. New behavior dictated. Must break target into component materials.
We have decided that our Ur-Hot siblings are in need of our love and good counsel. We have waited far too long to return home and heal the wound that has kept our race apart these many centuries. When we arrive in the Serpentis constellation, we will greet our Ur-Hot brethren with warm hugs of affection, which, I am sure, shall be returned in kind. It is? We are so glad you warned us. No time to lose. We'll see you back in our home star system. Bye!
They expressed great interest in your explorations and struggles against the Ur-Quan. But, like all Varese, I'm afraid they were hesitant to introduce themselves for fear of, well, frightening you. In any event, it is our pleasure to meet you once again. Now, what can we do for you today? What would you like to sell, Captain? The 159 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 318 credits. What trade items would you like to buy today? The technology we are now offering includes details on how to add point defense laser systems to your flagship. These little babies are great for defense, but because of their limited range, they may not make a good offensive weapon. However, the more you build for your vessel, the more damage each laser strike will do. The technology we are now offering includes plans for building improvements to your planet landers, which make them resistant to hostile alien life forms. Our reinforcement procedures on your landers are complete. Now, provided your crew will stop putting their hands out the windows, they will be much better protected against hostile life forms. The technology we are now offering includes blueprints, which show how to increase your lander's cargo space to double its present volume. What else would you like to buy? It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
Captain, I'm glad you made it back in one piece. Thanks, Captain. Goodbye, Captain.